The St. Joseph Oasis Center in Tico now has a tabernacle. The tabernacle was installed today by the Bishop of Buea, His Lordship Bishop Michael Baby. Also, 28 religious men and women who have served for 25 years plus have been recognized for their zeal and endurance in consecrated life. This was during the 28th celebration of the World Day of Consecrated Life in the Diocese of Buea, and a unity and integration work led by the governor of the Southwest region, Bernard Okala Bilai, took place today in Buea as part of activities to mark the 59th edition of the National Youth Day. Good evening and thanks for joining us on a Divine Mercy Prime this Monday evening here in Buea. These stories and more will be developed in just a moment. You're welcome back. The Bishop of Buea, Bishop Michael Baby, today continued another session of the weekly catechetical teachings Know Your Faith. Today's edition took place at our Saints Parish in Motengene. The Bishop continued from the teachings begun last week by Reverend Father Martin Injie, where he called on Christ faithful to speak the truth in charity and focus most of his teachings on social media. Reverend Father Roderick Yangsi followed today's teachings and puts together this report.
It was another Monday with His Lordship Michael Baby, the Bishop of the Diocese of Buea, in his weekly catechetical program, Know Your Faith. The program this day was at the All Saints Parish Motengene, and his teaching was a continuation of the 8th commandment, a session begun last week by Father Martin J. Moka. Today's focus, drawing from John chapter 17 verse 17, his motto for his episcopal consecration, Sanctificar eius in veritate, consecrate them in truth, was on speaking the truth in charity. The prelate emphasized the need to speak the truth to those who have the right to know about that truth. For speaking the truth has to do with equally respecting the dignity of the persons concerned.
Church should tell we, say yes, it be good for we, for talk true thing. It be good for we, for make sure say we no talk lie. But church should also talk, say, if we get to talk true thing, we get for also understand, say, some true thing, then they will want talk more talk for the people, then we then get right for know that true thing. No talk true thing for person where you no get right for know what way it be true. Take for instance, them don't dismiss your picking for school. Maybe that picking you commit some crime for school, when a very bad crime. Then call you like papa or mama, tell you say nothing this way picking don't do am. Disciplinary council don't she don't. Then I look this palaver and the members say me picking come out for this school. Because if you remain again for this school, it will be like bad example for other picking them. You will find more moving for this school, put it for another school, where it will help for safe a good name because of which way you don't do them. Because on time for dismiss begin for school, you know being only bad palaver. For dismiss begins on time now for respect the dignity. For thing where you don't do them, for send it for another side so that he will go for they no go know ye, and if he help for change from the follow up way they'll give you so they will be able to be bad picking. And then dismiss that picking. That picking now you don't come for house. A brother and a sister and they ask me, say, what do you do? He said, no, I'm not that wicked principal. That teacher them. All them they hate me. They have the past exam, so all students they hate me. Then see and say I will come in as some better person. So they start talk life in my head. That picking way they talk that kind talk, they talk na lie. You know they talk na true talk. And why they talk lie? That because they want to preserve a dignity. You know what made a noting way you don't do them. You papa and mama way you know what way that picking do them because then tell you you come for house. Then picking and tell you say, hey, now so that principal of that school wicked. Now so teacher them all wicked and all the rest. What it really happen if you tell we that picking they no get right or know the true thing. You just tell them, say, when our brother, he don't do something for school way, he no fine. And school members say, he no will continue for day. So they don't give back for we will find another school, make it go for day. You know we go now for inside house now, start there, that picking, a brother and sister, then say, even do the one, even the school say do the one, school say do this one, and all the rest. So for talk true thing, it means you must respect the dignity for another person. For do talk true thing, it means you get for try, for make sure say, you not downplay the other person. And why that way, if we get for talk true talk, it means say, we get for make sure so we talk that true talk for place where we get for talking. And for person where he get for hear them.
The bishop also dwelt on the need to speak the truth on social media. For the church's documents, the Instrumentum Laboris of 2002, the Ecclesia et Interneti Mutatio, dwelt on the fact that journalists must be mindful of the information they share on social media and avoid promoting personal biases by all means possible. Thus, by maintaining objectivity on social media, journalists can uphold the integrity of their journalism.
Number 8 commandment, it tells we about the use of the social communications media. The use for the social communications media. And it talks say the use of the social communication media, it be na for help for give information for the community. They work for the social media, for communication. It be now for give information for the community, for give information for the public. And the information with the social media, it get for give them, it get for being a true information. The social media, it no get for give information out, where it never verify, for be sure. So the information where they give them out, it be not true. The social media, it never give information where it be not one-sided. If you hear so this thing don't happen for this side, the one don't do so, the one don't do so. Try to find out from the two sides then. Get the proper information before you know how you get for communicate them. And of course, we know say for inside life today, plenty people them they suffer. Plenty people them they go through difficulties because of social media communication. And sometimes you and me will contribute for spread those information.
As many leave the premises of the All Saints Parish Mutengene, joyed with this teaching, they hope to return next week to continue with these teachings to enliven their lives and the Christian faith of their community.
After today's officiations that took place at All Saints Parish in Mutengene, Reverend Father Rodrigue Yansi sampled the opinion of some Christians who attended today's session. Let's get their reactions.
I wish to express my sincere gratitude to the Bishop for having taught us about the 8th commandment, which says, do not bear false witness against your neighbor. I'm really happy because this commandment really brings problems to many people, and if they are not really taught on it, they will not know how to express themselves when they are called up to do so. And I've learned many things today, and I've learned that don't say what you are not sure of, especially on social media.
We are very, very impressed that the bishop is coming to our parish for the second time for this doctrinal formation. And last year, he fed us spiritually. This time, he has come with the 8th commandment. Some of us do not really know the detail of 8th commandment, but today, I will not lie you, we are going home so excited. We are really happy. We are really happy because from the questions people were asking, it shows that we understood what he explained to us. The 8th commandment, these are the things we need to know about our church.
I'm so pleased about it. I even mentioned it when I was trying to ask questions, saying that each time he comes here, he brings new things, new doctrine to us. we are always learning and we are still prepared to continue learning. In as much as I say he will be coming again the next few weeks, each time he comes, we are ready to receive him and to enrich ourselves with the doctrine of the Catholic Church, because it's so cumbersome in a way that we need such those type of explanations to be able to tell the other people what we stand for.
My name is Efo Joel. I'm a catechumen of 3 years in All Saint Parish, Mutengene. Bishop taught us today about the 8 commandments of God, and then he told us again that we should speak the truth in charity. Thank you.
Some Christians giving their reactions there after following today's teachings in Mutengene. We stay with the Bishop of Buea, Bishop Michael Bibi, who today installed the tabernacle at the St. Joseph Oasis Center in Tiko. In the following report, Reverend Father Martin Gier tells us that the installation of this tabernacle will go a long way to boost the spirituality of those at the center through prayer, adoration of the Blessed Sacrament, and reservation of the Holy Eucharist for the sick. His report.
St. Joseph Oasis, a place for accommodating, journeying and helping persons of different age groups with mental health challenges, psychic disorder, and other trauma-related challenges, saw the installation of the tabernacle in the early hours of the day by the Bishop of the Diocese of Buea, His Lordship Michael Bibi. This event commenced with a Holy Mass celebrated by the Prelate of Buea, concelebrated by some priests, and attended by those admitted in the center, alongside the facilitators. Sister Jackie Atabong, a sister of St. Therese of the Child of Jesus, directly in charge with its administration, noted how relevant the installation of the tabernacle is to the center.
When we have Jesus in the house, the presence of Jesus in the house, you have a different feeling because you know that God is with you. And when we come to say our prayers, we can come for adorations, we can prostrate on the floor and in front of God's presence, say what we think, what is happening to us, be in His presence, that He should feed us, because we go out to work, but we need to get strength from Him. We need to be able to be attuned with Him so that we know the message He wants us to pass on to the world. And with that, you need to spend time with Him. And Jesus is the kind of person that transforms us to become like the person we are nourished by. In His presence, we become more like Him, and that is what the presence of the Blessed Sacrament will do for us. We increase our intimacy with Him, and in that way transforms us to become more like Jesus in the services we render.
More on the impact this installation will create in the community at large was also underscored.
We should make use of it. We should spend time with Jesus every day, in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, to pray, and we should respect and revere the Blessed Sacrament in our midst, and we should make sure that we allow it to transform us to be better persons.
As the Catechism of the Catholic Church teaches in paragraphs 1378 to 1379, that the tabernacle serves as a place of worship and adoration, and to enable communion of the sick to be readily available, reserving the Eucharist in the installed tabernacle of the St. Joseph Oasis will ensure that the sacrament is readily available to bring comfort, peace, unity, and spiritual strength to those in greatest need at the St. Joseph Oasis in Tiko.
28 religious men and women who have served for 25 years and more in the religious profession have been recognized for their zeal and endurance in consecrated life. This was during the celebration of the 28th World Day of Consecrated Life that took place yesterday here in the Diocese of Buea. Bernard Asangne tells us more.
As the psalmist will say, joy fills my heart when I heard them say, let us go to God's house. February 9, 2025 was another moment of shared joy and encouragement as the religious living and serving in the Diocese of Buea celebrated the 28th World Day of Consecrated Life, taking place at the Divine Mercy Co-Cathedral Moliko Buea, with the Mass being officiated at by His Lordship Michael Bibi. The religious took the opportunity to reconsecrate themselves through the renewal of their vows. Carrying on with the celebration, recognitions were given to 28 religious men and women for the tireless efforts put in the service of God's vineyard for 25 years and more.
I am 59 years in the religious life and I feel very good. I'm so happy. This day to me is just the beginning of heaven. I see it that it is possible. And I know that it's all by God's grace. And praying to Our Lady every day to help me. She has never failed me.
It's wonderful for me to see this day. To strike 59 years in the religious life is not an easy thing. But God is there. He has taken me so far with all my weaknesses, with all my failures, with all unable to make it myself, but God has carried me so far.
It's a call for our young people to answer the call to the consecrated life. Some people see us at a distance, and actually people have said we are suffering, but it's a life of joy where you have the opportunity to serve God and humanity in spirit and in truth. So for our young people, let them be quiet, find quiet time and listen to that subtle voice where God is calling you to come and serve, and it is worth doing it.
To the younger generations of religious persons, they have a wider and rich package of experience to learn from their elders who have toiled for all these years.
As I watched the bishop handing or congratulating those jubilarians, I felt encouraged, I felt moved to keep on living the life amidst its struggles. I also want to encourage each and every sister, not only of my congregation, to persevere and to hope for a better future in the religious and the consecrated life.
Within the context of this celebration, the work progress and relationship existing amongst the religious, the clergy, and the lay faithful in the Diocese of Buea has been cordial and plausible, as noted by Reverend Father Divine Fondini, Vicar for the religious in the Diocese of Buea.
So far, it has been a wonderful spirit of collaboration, and we continue to encourage one another to realize that the best way in which we can show ourselves that we are Christians is by loving one another and by collaborating with one another.
16 congregations and 121 religious persons working in the Diocese of Buea goes a long way to make the work of evangelization less burdensome, with firm instruction and directives from the document Fide Depositum, which stresses on truth and vigor in the handing on of the faith.
Stay in line with the celebration. The chapter president of religious serving in the Diocese of Buea, Reverend Father Mary Gaston, has assured the Diocese of Buea of the continuous support and collaboration of religious serving here in the diocese. Franklin Famukong followed the speeches during this event and puts together this report.
World Day of Consecrated Life, celebrated in the Diocese of Buea, was an occasion for religious men and women working and living within the ecclesiastical jurisdiction of Buea to commune together, renew their dedication, and consecrate themselves to God and the Diocese of Buea.
We must be present and visible in every corner of the diocese. As religious men and women, we do not only seek to keep the flame of our vocations burning, but also to deepen our commitment to the pastoral vision of our diocese.
The 16 religious congregations serving in Buea, as highlighted by their chapter president, have been instrumental following the post-synodal apostolic exhortation Vita Consecrata in the pastoral and social arm of the diocese.
121 religions and 16 congregations as follows. We have the Tertiary Sisters of St. Francis, Sons of Mary, Mother of Mercy, Capuchin Fathers, Claretian Missionaries, Holy Roses Sisters, Sisters of Christ, Handmaid Sisters, Foyer de Charité, Capuchin Sisters, Sisters of St. Therese of the Child Jesus of Buea, Sisters of St. Anne, Vincentian Fathers, Pallottine Fathers, Mill Hill Missionaries, Brothers of St. Martin de Paul, Carmelite Sisters. Our presence is felt in various apostolates, including education, healthcare, administration, the whole of the social wing of the church.
The occasion was also an opportunity for the religious to celebrate the 75th anniversary of the Diocese of Buea. As such, the bishop called on the faithful to pray for religious congregations.
I want to sincerely request that the Christians should not forget to pray for the consecrated persons.
For religious men and women to truly serve their purpose, they must live Christocentric lives.
Today, the Universal Church celebrates us, men and women, who have responded and are still responding to God's call, have dedicated our lives in His service, and have been set apart for mission of the church through our different charisms and spiritualities.
World Day of Consecrated Life is usually celebrated by the Universal Church on the 2nd of February, Feast of the Presentation of Jesus in the Temple, a day where religious men and women are reminded of their consecration to God.
Also, as a prelude to this celebration, religious men and women serving in the Diocese of Buea gathered at the Bishop Pius Awa Memorial Pastoral Center on Saturday for a spiritual exercise where top on the agenda was the essence of their vocation. Hilaron Tukov tells us more.
Saturday, February 8, 2025, religious men and women from various institutes of consecrated life in the Diocese of Buea converged on the chapel of Bishop Pius Awa Memorial Pastoral Center to deepen their spiritual life. As it is written in the Holy Bible, they detach themselves from their daily activities to spend time with God, seeking spiritual renewal. These days' activities characterized by intense prayer, silent meditation, and the celebration of Holy Mass presided at by Reverend Father Gaston Mary, chapter president for religious in the Diocese of Buea. The Eucharistic celebration was a moment of great spiritual significance as the religious men and women gathered around the altar to receive spiritual nourishment. In his homily, Reverend Father Cyril Keller, Superior for Capuchin Fathers in the Diocese of Buea, urged the religious men and women to ponder on their vocation, emphasizing the importance of being consecrated to God. He stressed that their vocation should always be a pivotal point, guiding their thoughts, words, and actions. The Superior's words were a timely reminder to the religious men and women to commit themselves to serve God and humanity. The Saturday spiritual exercise ended in a joyful atmosphere, as the day also served as an opportunity for the religious men and women to interact among themselves.
Away from that celebration, Catholic Women Association of Queen of Heaven Division have been reminded of their role to emulate the virtues of their mother, the Blessed Virgin Mary. This was during the celebration of the feast of St. Josephine Bakita, patron saint against human trafficking. Nades Netrome followed that celebration and our reports.
We are praying in the light of God. We are praying.
It was with this March past that the Catholic Women Association Queen of Heaven Division Moliko came together to commemorate the feast day of St. Josephine Bakita, the patron saint of victims of human trafficking. The event saw members of the association coming together with placards and various themes like "End Human Trafficking, Rejoice All of Africa, Bakita is Back, No to Slavery, No to Kidnapping," amongst others. These messages aimed to raise awareness about the urgent need to end human trafficking and to pray for all those who have suffered from these grave injustice.
Here for preach to the world, say these bad acts of kidnap and child trafficking, human labor and child abuse is no fine. That's very bad thing. May we try for pray. May we CWA, all women, they're all around the whole world. May we pray. May St. Josephine Bakita for say where it day, where we live say it day heaven, and they don't canonize it in the year 2000 by Pope John Paul II. We be canonize that woman because it see the good thing we be doing the fight against these bad acts of kidnap, trafficking, and child labor child abuse.
During the feast, the mothers of the church were engaged in a spiritual recollection led by their chaplain, Reverend Father Maxwell Ewang. The theme for the session, Artisans of Human Fraternity for World Peace in the Church That Goes Forth, aligns with the celebration of St. Josephine Bakita. Mama Grace Nkendem expanded on this theme, emphasizing the importance of changing what is wrong in society, a message strongly encouraged by the chaplain.
That we should not just think that it's just to tie our wrapper, sing around as Mama Maria. No, we should show the virtues of the Mother Mary, who is our model in our homes first of all, because the home is the nucleus of the world peace. Because he says we are crying about wars today, that all of this began in our homes, the way that we mothers or parents bring up our children. So he told us that we should try to reflect this, the virtues of Mary, and he cited Mary the mother, the humble mother. Mothers should be humble. If we are humble in our homes, our husbands will respect us. And when our husbands respect us, there will be peace in the home and there will be no problems.
After the celebration, some participants expressed joy and excitement over participating in this annual event, sharing the valuable lessons.
We've been talking about it. It's calm and it's a topical issue because women continue to die. And we the Topsy, may no man condone trafficking, violence against women, and slavery. I feel so happy to be part of it and looking forward to the women's month that comes next week.
Saint Josephine Bakita became a symbol of strength and hope, and her journey teaches Christians that through kindness and generosity they can rise above profound suffering, offering a powerful testament to the resilience of the human spirit.
The governor of the Southwest region, His Excellency Bernard Okala-Bila, has led a unity and integration work here in Boya as part of activities to mark the 59th edition of the National Youth Day. The work was staged in Boya today, Monday, passing through Razel Street to Hospital, right up to the Tubak Junction, back to Bongo Square, and during which some schools which emerged victorious during week-long activities in view of the Youth Day celebrations were awarded. Sama Eileen was part of today's work. Her report.
Governor Bernard Okala-Bila underscored the importance of unity and integration barely hours before the 59th edition of the National Youth Day celebration in the Southwest. This during a peace work staged in Boya on the eve of Youth Day. The chief executive is satisfied at the massive turnout of the youth for this symbolic exercise.
We can recognize it here that it's down to the mobilization of the youth that we have succeeded to pull out those who misguided, who misled in the bush. And today, we have to maintain it. We have to maintain what we have done so far, and we count on those youth. So I want to sincerely express my satisfaction for what the youth have done today.
His region is one of the embattled English-speaking regions in the country, counting 8 years plus of an armed conflict. Governor Okala recognizes the progress made so far and reminds the youth of the policy of one and indivisible Cameroon.
We can recognize it here that it's down to the mobilization of the youth that we have succeeded to pull out those who were misguided, who misled in the bush. And today, we have to maintain it. We have to maintain what we have done so far, and we count on those youth. The youth are coming together when it comes to mobilization, no matter the student, the workers, the youth can mobilize to make one and the indivisible Cameroon.
For the sporting activities this year, Government Bilingual High School Munya emerged first in football.
This is GBHS Munya, first prize for football. It's wonderful to be be among the best. Because of people think that Buea does not exist. Buea is forgotten, but we have proven beyond reasonable doubt that we are back and strong and on board. And we'll keep on doing the things we do best.
It is worth mentioning here that heads of institutions, the media and delegations in the region were present for this unity and integration walk, which wrapped up with the award of trophies and certificates to meritorious teams and schools.
And we take you out of the country where Namibia's founding father, Sam Nujoma, has died aged 95. Nujoma served the country for over 15 years and was the first democratically elected president of Namibia. Also, leaders of the East African Community and those of the Southern African Development Community have met to discuss the ongoing violence at the Great Lake. Top on the agenda, the violence in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Magdalene Wondo followed these stories out of the country. Her report.
The first president of independent Namibia, Sam Nujoma, has died at the age of 95. He led the long fight of independence from South Africa. He was jailed and spent 3 decades in exile, building support for Namibians' independence before becoming president in 1990. A freedom fighter, he was the first president of the Southwest People's Organization. His liberation movement embarked on an armed struggle for Namibians' independence through the organization's guerrilla force, the People's Organization Army. Sam Nujoma returned to Namibia in September 1989. Despite a 30-year absence, Nujoma was a powerful and well-known figure in Namibia that his picture alone became a symbol for his party. Completing his lifelong dream, Sam Nujoma ran for elections as president in the country's first independent elections in 1989. He won, becoming the country's first president.
Goodbye, South Africa! Welcome, Namibia! Power to the people! We've got our land back!
We need each other. We need to work together. We need the unity of purpose and action if we are going to develop this country in a modern way.
Namibia formally became independent in March 1990 after his party fought brutal liberation struggle to bring back peace to Namibia. The second struggle he embarked on was economic independence. He ensured that schools and universities were built and made efforts to improve the country's health care system. He was in office for 15 years and his critics accused him for clinging to power when he pushed for constitutional amendments to extend his rule.
I have no intention of stepping down, and only the Namibian people will tell me step down.
He eventually stepped down, assuring peaceful transfer of power in 2005, but remained a powerful and influential man until his death. While leaders of the East African communities and the Southern Development Community have convened to address the ongoing conflict destabilizing the Great Lakes region, government ministers, followed by head of states from 16 nations and the EAC's 8 member states, are here to discuss crisis in the Eastern DRC. Tanzania and the DRC are the only members that hold membership in both regional blocs. This meeting in Dar es Salaam aims to complement rather than duplicate the stalled Rwanda and Nairobi peace processes, which have struggled to make progress in recent years. The key objective is to enable dialogue and trust between DRC and Rwanda presidents, as direct communication between them is considered to some as vital to resolving the crisis. Notably absent from the talks is the M23 rebels, which has been advancing towards Bukavu after taking control of Goma last week. The United Nations reports that the battle for Goma, driven by M23 forces with alleged support from Rwanda, has resulted in 3,000 deaths and displaced over 1 million people. Rwanda has repeatedly refuted claims of the presence of the soldiers in DRC. There are thousands in urgent need of humanitarian aid, and it remains to be seen whether this summit will lead to meaningful relief efforts and a lasting resolution to the conflict.
That foreign page wraps up what we have for you this evening. But before we part ways, a reminder of our major stories once more. The St. Joseph Oasis Center in Tiko now has a tabernacle. The tabernacle was installed today by the Bishop of Boya, His Lordship Bishop Michael Beebe. Also in this newscast, we told you how 28 religious men and women who've served for 25 years plus were recognized for their zeal and endurance in the consecrated life, and a unity and integration work led by the governor of the Southwest region, Bernardo Carlisle Bilai, took place today in Boya as part of activities to mark the 59th edition of the National Youth Day celebrations. Thanks so very much for choosing us. We leave you in the company of beautiful programs still to come your way here over the Divine Mercy Radio Television. Do have a blessed night.